The first royalty name of this earnings cycle has reported their fourth quarter results, and quite frankly, the results are a bit disappointing given the current gold environment. Revenue is down on an annual basis, production is down, cash flows are down, but hey, at least they hit revised guidance, I guess. They can't all be winners, I suppose, and this is just one example. Let's dive in. The royalty name here is, of course, Sandstorm Gold, whom at the time of their third quarter earnings release basically said this year wasn't going to be as good as initially expected. And well, they held up that statement. Sandstorm in the fourth quarter reported a top-line revenue of $47.4 million, which was off the back of attributable gold production of 17,721 ounces. Revenue was up slightly versus the $44.5 million reported in the fourth quarter of 2023. However, gold production was down dramatically from 23,250 ounces. Obviously, the massive jump in the price of gold over the course of the last year has assisted Sandstorm dramatically in making the year-over-year comparison a bit more rosy. Cash operating margins hit a record $23.96 per ounce in the fourth quarter versus $17.37 in the fourth quarter of last year. This led to cash flows of $36.8 million in the fourth quarter versus $36.5 million in the same period last year, despite gold production being down 24% on a year-over-year basis. Net income was down dramatically, however, coming in at just $3.1 million in the fourth quarter versus $24.5 million last year in Q4. For the full fiscal year, revenue declined from $179.6 million to $176.3 million, which was a result of gold production falling from 97,000 ounces to 73,000 ounces on an attributable basis. Record cash margins of $20.97 per ounce for the year versus $17.06 in 2023 were unable to fully offset the shortfall in production. Net income was down dramatically on a year-over-year basis, dropping from $43 million to $16 million, which was the result of a large gain on the revaluation of assets in 2023. Cash flows, however, were down less dramatically, coming in at $139 million in 2024 versus $151 million last year. Those cash flows were used primarily to pay down debt last year, with debt levels being reduced by $80 million, with a further $15 million pay down made subsequent to year-end. As of this week, Sandstorm has $314 million outstanding on their credit facility, with available balances of $285 million. Sandstorm ended 2024 with $4.4 million in cash and cash equivalents, after spending $17.5 million on dividends and $10.9 million in buybacks throughout the year. One of the major issues plaguing Sandstorm here, though, is their outlook. Production in 2024 came in at 73,000 ounces, which was at the midpoint of their most recent guidance of 70 to 75,000 ounces. But that guidance was the lowest provided for 2024, after the company continuously brought it down through the year. In February, guidance was for 75 to 90,000 ounces. In August, they dropped it to a range of 75 to 85,000 ounces. Then in November, they even made it fall further to 70 to 75,000 ounces. So technically, yes, they did hit guidance, but that guidance was below the original range provided for 2024 this time last year. And looking to 2025, guidance as well trending down, which isn't exactly positive in this gold environment. Production this year is estimated to be between 65 to 80,000 ounces, which on a midpoint basis is below production experienced in 2024. Long-term production forecasts are calling for production of 150,000 ounces a year by 2030. But as Mark IKN points out, production by 2024 was forecasted to be about 125,000 ounces back in 2019. So that long-term guidance isn't the most reliable. But they do have a plan on how to get there, at least with a number of assets expected to come online in the next few years. Guidance aside, a number of assets are progressing nicely within Sandstorm's portfolio. Greenstone came online in November and is ramping towards its capacity of 390,000 ounces of annual production, which is expected to provide Sandstorm between 8 to 10,000 ounces a year once fully online. Ivanhoe's Platreef PGM operation in South Africa is expected to hit its stride later this year, which, when fully operational, will provide 15 to 20,000 ounces of attributable production. Barrick's Robertson mine, part of the Cortez complex, has indicated that production will begin in 2027, which will add 3 to 4,000 ounces to Sandstorm's portfolio. While SSR Mining's Hole Madden is now expected to see first production in 2028, contributing 33 to 39,000 to Sandstorm's production base, all of which, along with several smaller projects, are expected to push Sandstorm's attributable production to that 150,000 target by 2030. In the interim, however, things might be a bit more painful, with production levels not expected to exceed 80,000 ounces until 2028. And current estimates see production topping out in 2030 to levels that won't be seen again until 2038, unless major assets are added to the portfolio in the interim. All right, let's wrap it up. The nice thing about royalty names is they are relatively basic to understand. They're all a matter of attributable production and what sort of leverage they have available to add assets to the portfolio to increase attributable production. As for Sandstorm, 2024 wasn't the greatest of years. The company needs to have a bit of a turnaround in their production profile here, if we're being honest. But this isn't exactly news to Nolan Watson and his team. I'm certain they're well aware. But with a rise in royalty names, quality royalties are more expensive than they used to be. And with a lack of projects coming online, well, there's a larger pool of royalty providers fighting for a smaller pool of royalties. Not exactly a great situation to be in, unless you're a potential producer, of course. All right, guys, we are in the thick of Q4 earnings season. I think we're going to be doing lots of mining names, but if there's other names you want us to cover, please let us know in the comment section. We hope that these videos are helpful for you. We know we've been getting a lot of comments, which we appreciate so much. All right, everybody, thanks for watching.